I was wondering when you were going to wake up. I've been sitting here on the foot of your bed for some time now, just watching you and waiting. You don't seem all that surprised to find me here. I take it you've been expecting me, or someone like me. Yes, I suppose that would make sense. A person living the life you live, moving in the circles that you move in, knowing the people you know, doing the things you have done. Sooner or later, that person wakes up one night to find someone like me in their room. If they wake up at all, that is. Oh, you were meant to wake up, by the way. That was one of the stipulations of the contract I took. Yes, that is correct. I'm here for you. A hitman. We don't use that term anymore in the profession, but the principle is still the same. My predecessors might have spoken about doing someone or sending someone to sleep with the fishes. Perhaps some obscure talk of rubbing someone out, or even discreet wet work. Times change. Cultures change. Professionals like myself change with both. We have abandoned the old terms for the most part. These are modern times we live in, and we prefer the modern terms. So now, instead of saying that someone is taking a dirt nap or pushing up the daisies, we say that they have been demonetized. That's right. I'm here to demonetize you. I know there's not much light in your bedroom, but I can still clearly see your hand creeping underneath your pillow. Surely, you're not one of those paranoid persons who sleeps with a loaded firearm underneath their pillow, are you? I suppose that you are. Looking for this? I took the liberty of removing it from under your pillow when I first came in, just in case. Oh, and I also removed the gun in your nightstand as well. How did I know? Oh, I know all about you. That's part of my job as a demonetizer. I know where you keep all your hidden weapons. I know the layout of your house. I know the names and the shifts and the habits and patterns of your bodyguards. I know when you go to work, and I know when you go to sleep, and I know what you had for breakfast this morning. I know everything. It makes my job easier. Your bodyguards, by the way, will be of very little use to you just now. I've not harmed them, merely allowed them time for a nice, long nap. They are not part of my contract, and they are professionals themselves, of a sort. talented people. And I do hate to see good talent go to waste. They will not be demonetized. You, however, are another matter. You've had quite the successful life, working for the seedy underbelly of society as you have. Organized crime can be extremely lucrative. Anyone with ambition and talent enough to gain the notice of the families at the top, they can live a very comfortable life, provided they keep doing their job and don't arouse the notice of other organizations. Which you seem to have done, and that's why I'm here. The 3 mob families who control this city have quite the storied history together. Each family hates the others, and for years they have attempted to push out the others and gain sole control over all the various criminal activities going on in this city. Recently, your employers, the Machiavelli family, have been doing very well for themselves. Low-level competitors absorbed or removed, and certain troublesome individuals eliminated, demonetized, to use the current parlance. And many of those eliminations can be laid at your feet. You are a very useful tool for the Machiavelli. The dossier I have on you shows 14 individual hits carried out by yourself against members of the Rousseau and the Domeri families, including the recent untimely demise of the younger brother of Don Rousseau himself. Naturally, this has made you a very unpopular person in the eyes of those families, and they want you gone permanently, which is what I am here to do. The specifics of my contract are few. They wanted you to be awake when it happened, and they wanted you to know who took out the hit on you, and they wanted it to be extremely professional and untraceable. The rest of it they left up to me. I always make sure my contracts allow for plenty of creative liberties. My methods are quick and painless, if that's any comfort to you. In matters of professional demonetization, I see no need for a prolonged, inhumane, or agonizing end to things, except where a particular contract calls for that sort of thing. Some of them do, but not tonight. Tonight, I merely intend to leave a body in this room, with your bodyguards asleep outside, all the doors and windows locked, and nary a trace or sign of anyone else coming in or out of your house. Your security cameras? Oh no. Security cameras are the easiest thing in the world to bypass and evade. I have my methods. I'm very good at my job. You seem exceptionally calm and collected in the face of your own certain demise. How long have you been expecting this sort of situation? Since the day you took your first contract. Well, that's a practical view to take of things, I suppose. Live for the moment, and take not the future for granted. However, for you, the moment is over now, and the future is here, and it is not for you. And I have said and done all that my contract requires of me. The only thing left to fulfill is the last term of that agreement, the leaving of a body in this room. Any last words? An admirable sentiment to express in such a time. I'll be sure to remember it. Most of the marks I have dealt with under contract have not behaved with such dignity as you in their final moments. Most of them make quite the dismal spectacle of themselves, weeping, pleading, begging, even offering absurd amounts of money to buy their own lives. All of them ended the same way, of course. A body found in a room, nothing else. You seem quite prepared to accept your fate and meet your ending, which, I might mention, now that the moment is upon us, need not actually be the end of you. There. That. Right there. That glint of hope in your eyes. That spark, that shine, that beginning glimpse of a future that might yet be yours. That is what I live to see. There will be a body left in this room, yes, but it need not be you. Oh, it can look like you. A perfect, exact match. Every hair and tooth, and even that mole over your fourth rib, just to the left of the spine. I told you, I know everything about you. Be still now, and hear my words, for I shall make you an offer. I am not as I seem. I am one of the things men whisper of in dark, secret places. One of the things told of in old stories, written of in ancient tomes of forbidden knowledge. I am that which offers what the heart desires in exchange for the soul. Do you desire life? Would you continue on from here, still drawing breath, to live out the rest of your days? Would you leave this life of crime? Leave this crowded city with its miserable people and filth-ridden streets? I can make this happen. I can whisk you away to a secret island retreat, someplace far from the worries of urban life. Someplace with plenty of sunlight and sandy shores, ocean vistas on every side, and even an island vacation hotel with all the staff at your beck and call. Would you accept this change in your fortunes, in lieu of being demonetized? Would you trade to me your very soul to avoid the sudden ending that will otherwise be yours this night? Ah, you want some further proof. You are no fool, that is certain. Even when faced with oblivion, you still keep your wits about you. I will show you a wonder. Before you stands the very image of your own self, identical to you in every way. It has your face, your hair, your eyes, every last detail, right down to your blood type and genetic material. A perfect match. It will take your place in your bed, and it will be what your bodyguards find cold and lifeless when they awaken from their slumber. None shall be the wiser, and you shall escape this frightful life of crime and stress and all the rest, and you shall live on, spending your days in the warm tropical sun, and your nights listening to the rhythmic sound of the waves breaking upon the sands. Provided, of course, that you accept my offer. Your soul given to me in exchange for your removal from this dismal den of demonetization to that peaceful place of sun and sand and waves. Do you accept my offer? Very good. Your word is your bond, and we are now agreed. We have a binding contract. Now, before I whisk you away to your new island home, I must see to the last details of that other contract. If you would get up from your bed then, and make room for your doppelganger. There. All nice and settled in. Demonetization complete. And now we may go. No, there is no need. You will go just as you are. Everything you could want for, you have but to request on the island. Besides, think sensibly. Why would any of your things be taken away by that cooling lump of meat there in the bed? No, there it remains, in place of yourself, and so too must all of the things you would carry off with you. I shall take you now to the island which is to be your new home. I will come back eventually to collect what you owe me, but hopefully that will not be for a very, very long time. Take my hand. Greetings to you, honored guest. Welcome to the Hotel de Mille Espoirs Perdus. It will be my pleasure to show you around the island and answer any questions you may have. Yes, the island itself is not very large. No more than 10 minutes walk from end to end. Very convenient. No long, tiring walks back from the beach. Everything is very close to everything else. The hotel? Right this way. It's not in the best condition right now, I'm afraid. We've been having a lot of sudden storms this season, you see, and the top 2 floors got blown clean off last week. Also, most of the siding and outside fixtures have been stripped away by the winds, so there's an embarrassing amount of bare concrete showing through on all sides. Also, much of the glass has been blown out, so most of the rooms are open to the weather at this time. We would have boarded over the windows, but the first storm of the season blew away our entire supply shed, window boards and all. I've been doing my best to make repairs on my own, but it is slow going. You see, the rest of the staff have all resigned from their jobs and left, preferring to go elsewhere rather than continue to work under these conditions. Well, the electricity is not currently working, for one. The storms have delayed our resupply of cooking and heating gas. And there is not much wood to be found on the island at all, so there isn't going to be a steady stream of hot meals at all times. I'm dreadfully sorry about that. Also, you might want to avoid the other occupants of the hotel for a time. Rather a long time, in fact. Decent rooms have been in short supply, and there have been some, very spirited disagreements over who will stay in which rooms. And speaking of short supplies, I regret to inform you that much of the food went off shortly after the electricity went out. No power for the freezers, you see. Most of what is currently left is in cans and sealed boxes. We have plenty of fresh water, though. Whenever it rains, as it often does this season, everyone sets out as many buckets and tubs as they can manage to catch their share of the deluge. Most of the other residents hoard it up in the bathtubs in their rooms. Rooms, yes. Now that I think on it, we are currently out of unoccupied rooms. There was one available as recently as last week, but Mr. Carmody in the room next to it has been knocking holes in the adjoining wall and has been most disagreeable in the matter of sharing his newly annexed space. Most of the rest of the residents are similarly jealous of their privacy, and a few of them, quite frankly, are willing to do quite monstrous things in order to keep what they have. So you may have to make do with one of the storage closets on the ground floor for the time being. But things are not all bad. There are plenty of entertainments here on the island. No television to watch, I'm afraid, on account of the power outage. But there's a wonderful view of the sea from nearly every point on the island. Good swimming opportunities, too, weather permitting. Though, now that I think on it, you might want to avoid the beaches for a while yet. There's the annual shark migration this time of year, you see, and they've been venturing quite close to the shore these last few weeks. But after those have gone, the swimming should be quite enjoyable. Only, don't swim out too far. The bottom drops down rather suddenly about half a mile offshore, and there's a dreadfully strong current surrounding the island. Oh dear. That sounded like Madame Carver's room, the last one with a full set of glass in the windows. I wonder who it was who fell out of the windows. Certainly not Madame Carver. I must go and see about this. Do stay right here, please. I'm sure this won't take long to resolve. I'll be back presently to continue showing you about the place. Oh, but do keep an eye on yourself and your surroundings while I'm gone. Mr. Hanover has been complaining about the lack of fresh meat lately, and he's taken to eyeballing the other residents and sneaking around the island looking for alternative food sources. He's very good at sneaking, he is. Very good. But yes, I must go see to this matter now. I'll be back as soon as I'm able. Enjoy the view. Madam Carver, what have I told you about throwing people out of your room? Glass is in short supply here already. Will you please remember to open your windows before you defenestrate another one of the residents, madam?